Have you ever wondered what Earth looked like before dinosaurs ruled the land? Imagine a world far different from today. Scorching heat, massive volcanic eruptions, and an unending rainstorm that lasted not for days or years, but for 2 million years. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet that's exactly what science reveals about our planet's distant past. This wasn't just a typical storm. It was a colossal, relentless downpour that reshaped the entire Earth. It flooded landscapes, carved new rivers, and transformed ecosystems, setting the stage for a dramatic shift in life. This 2-million-year rainstorm played a crucial role in creating the perfect conditions for dinosaurs to eventually rise and dominate. So how did this epic, never-ending rain begin? What fueled it for such an unimaginable length of time? And how did it change the course of life on Earth forever? Let's dive into this extraordinary chapter of our planet's history and uncover the story behind the 2-million-year rainstorm. Let's take a giant leap back in time, about 252 million years ago, to a moment that forever changed life on Earth. We're standing at the end of the Permian period, right on the cusp between two massive chunks of geological time called the Paleozoic and Mesozoic eras. But don't let the names fool you. This was no quiet transition. It was the scene of the most catastrophic mass extinction our planet has ever seen. Imagine this. Nearly 90% of all marine species vanished. That's almost the entire ocean life wiped out. On land, about 70% of animal species simply disappeared. It was a wholesale reset of life as it existed then. So, what unleashed this apocalypse? Scientists point to a dramatic series of volcanic eruptions in a place we now call Siberia. But these weren't just ordinary eruptions you'd see today. These were colossal, planet-altering events that spewed vast amounts of lava, and, more importantly, enormous volumes of greenhouse gases, carbon dioxide and methane, straight into the atmosphere. Think about the greenhouse effect we hear about today. How trapped heat is warming our planet. Now multiply that effect many times over. The atmosphere became a thick, suffocating blanket, trapping heat relentlessly. This runaway greenhouse effect pushed global temperatures to extreme highs, creating a scorching, almost unbearable climate. The heat was so intense, it disrupted the delicate balance of ecosystems, both in the oceans and on land. Oxygen levels plummeted, making survival even harder. It was a perfect storm of environmental chaos, setting the stage for radical changes in life's future path. This cataclysm didn't just end species, it reset the playing field, clearing the way for new life to emerge from the ashes. And this is where our story of the 2-million-year rainstorm truly begins. Now, here's where the rainstorm comes in. It might sound hard to believe, but after those massive volcanic eruptions supercharged the atmosphere with greenhouse gases, Earth's climate went into overdrive. Here's the deal. When the planet heats up, the air can hold more moisture. So, with the atmosphere packed full of water vapor, the stage was set for relentless, heavy rainfall. But this wasn't your usual summer shower or passing thunderstorm. No, this was a downpour on an epic scale, lasting not weeks or years, but close to 2 million years. Why did the rainstorm last so long? Because the volcanic activity didn't just stop overnight. Those Siberian volcanoes kept pumping greenhouse gases into the air, keeping temperatures sky high and the atmosphere saturated with moisture. Plus, the land was a shadow of its former self, mostly barren, scorched, and stripped of much of its vegetation. Without plants to soak up the water or regulate the climate, the rain just kept coming. Imagine endless skies heavy with rain, washing over cracked, dry soil that couldn't absorb it fast enough. Rivers swelled and flooded, carving out vast new landscapes. It was a world drenched and reshaped by water, unlike anything we experience today. This wasn't just bad weather. It was a climate revolution that transformed Earth's surface and ecosystems. The rainstorm reshaped continents, created vast swampy regions, and altered the environment in ways that paved the road for new life forms to rise. In these expansive wetlands, life found stability amid the chaos. The constant moisture supported an explosion of plant growth, creating an abundant source of food and shelter. Thick forests and dense vegetation flourished, turning the landscape into something almost unrecognizable compared to the dry, scorched earth that existed before. This lush environment attracted and sustained animals that could handle the wet, swampy world, especially amphibians and reptiles. Among those survivors were the early ancestors of dinosaurs, creatures that would go on to dominate terrestrial ecosystems for millions of years. What made this environment so important wasn't just the water or the plants. It was the stability and resources that the swamps provided in an otherwise unstable world. These wetlands acted like natural incubators, giving pioneering species the time and space to experiment with new forms, behaviors, and survival strategies. This period of ecological opportunity sparked an evolutionary burst. Species diversified rapidly, adapting to the niches created by this wet landscape. Over time, this led to the rise of the dinosaurs, powerful, adaptable, and perfectly suited to their evolving world. It's incredible to think that what we often view as a mere inconvenience, a long, unending rainstorm, was actually one of the driving forces behind one of the most significant chapters in life's history on Earth. That relentless deluge didn't just reshape the planet's surface. It created the conditions necessary for a new era of life to emerge and thrive. When conditions are toughest, evolution works hardest. The 2-million-year rainstorm didn't just wash the Earth. It watered the seeds of transformation, setting the stage for life to reinvent itself in extraordinary ways. So next time you find yourself caught in a storm or grumbling about a gloomy day, remember this ancient deluge. It's a powerful example of how life's greatest breakthroughs can come from the most unexpected and challenging places. Nature's resilience is astounding, and sometimes it takes a relentless storm to create a new world. So, how do scientists piece together a story about a rainstorm that lasted 2 million years? Something no human has witnessed and no camera has ever recorded. The answer lies in the clues left behind in the Earth's ancient layers, like a detective gathering evidence from the distant past. First off, fossils play a huge role. When researchers dig into rock formations in regions like China and Russia, they find layers of sediment that tell a story of repeating floods followed by periods of drying out. These sediment patterns act like a natural archive, showing cycles that align perfectly with the idea of relentless heavy rain over a very long time. But it's not just about the rocks themselves. Scientists also analyze the chemical signatures locked inside these ancient layers. Changes in the acidity of the oceans and shifts in oxygen levels indicate that fresh water was pouring in on a massive scale. This influx of fresh water would have dramatically altered the chemistry of the seas, further supporting the theory of a prolonged, intense rainfall. One of the most striking pieces of evidence comes from coal deposits. Coal forms from thick layers of ancient plant material that accumulated in swampy, waterlogged environments. The presence of extensive coal beds from this era suggests that vast wetlands dominated the landscape. Wetlands that could only exist with continuous heavy rain to keep them soggy. All these pieces, fossils, sediments, chemical clues, and coal deposits, combine to create a clear picture. Earth experienced an extraordinary climate event, one that left a lasting mark on the planet's geology and biology. It's like reading pages from a storybook written in stone, revealing a time when rain didn't stop and life had to find new ways to survive and thrive. So, what does all this mean for dinosaurs and for life on Earth as a whole? Well, the 2-million-year rainstorm didn't magically create dinosaurs overnight, but it set the stage for their rise in a way nothing else could. Think of it as a giant reset button on Earth's biological clock. That relentless downpour reshaped the planet's climate and ecosystem so dramatically that many species simply couldn't survive. But with most of the old players wiped out, countless ecological doors swung wide open, creating opportunities for new life to emerge, adapt, and thrive. In this reshaped world, dinosaurs found fertile ground to evolve. The lush, swampy environments born from endless rains provided food, shelter, and new niches. These conditions favored reptiles that could adapt to the changing landscapes, giving dinosaurs a competitive edge. Over millions of years, they diversified and grew into the dominant land animals of the Mesozoic era. The extreme weather wasn't just destruction, it was transformation. It pushed life to its limits, breaking old patterns and allowing new ones to flourish. And here's something else to chew on. The same colossal rainstorm and the massive extinction event that cleared the way for dinosaurs also laid the groundwork for another game-changing chapter: the rise of mammals, and eventually us. Without the dramatic environmental shakeup caused by those relentless rains and the extinction that followed, Earth's evolutionary story could have taken a very different path. Mammals might never have gotten the chance to diversify and dominate after the dinosaurs' reign ended millions of years later. It's wild to think that the world we know today, the animals, the plants, even humanity itself, owes a debt to a rainstorm that lasted for 2 million years. That endless downpour didn't just shape landscapes, it shaped the very future of life on this planet. So next time you're caught in a rainy day and wish it would stop, pause for a moment. Imagine what it would be like if the rain never ceased. Not for hours or days, but millions of years. Picture it pouring endlessly, carving rivers, drowning forests, rewriting the rules of survival, and ultimately giving rise to the giants that once ruled Earth. It's a reminder that sometimes even the most overwhelming forces of nature are the architects of life's greatest stories. If you found this glimpse into Earth's dramatic past fascinating, there's so much more to explore. From ancient climates to incredible creatures, we'll uncover the hidden forces that shaped our world. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through time, be sure to like and subscribe. Join us for more deep dives into Earth's history and the amazing stories that connect us to our planet's past.